One thing that's becoming clear to me, particularly as I go into Harper's Ferry and into Maryland. Yesterday I showed you another state park that the trail goes through, and now I'm at the original Washington Monument. Obvious that the Appalachian Trail is not always a wilderness experience. It's very historical and cultural from place to place. So here's the first monument constructed in honor of George Washington. I've seen this so many times on other AT thru hiker videos. It's fun to see and no surprise, but probably had no idea that there was another Washington monument that predated the one in Washington, D.C. If I hadn't seen these YouTube videos. So here's a little information about the Washington Monument. Now, maybe hard. What it says: volunteer villagers of nearby Boonesboro celebrated their Independence Day, July 4, 1827, by building and dedicating this first monument to the memory of George Washington. And it says a bunch of other things. All right, let's see if we can go up. I'm before opening hours and there's a gate. I don't know if I can go up top right now. And here's our view today from the Washington Monument. So looks like it might be clearing. We've got some nice blue sky over here, but straight out, we've just got this sort of fog rolling in. Okay, so I'm walking into Pine Grove Furnace State Park. It's an important stop for AT thru hikers for a number of reasons. We've had some exciting events lately. First of all, on the left here, we have an old mansion of sorts called the Iron Masters Inn, and this has been converted years ago as a hostel, and a lot of hikers stay here. I'm not planning to stay here. The state park is known for us hikers celebrating the halfway point of the journey, which yesterday, just a few miles back, I passed through the halfway point. And to celebrate the halfway, there's been a challenge for years here in the park to go to the general store and have half a gallon of ice cream in one sitting. And you'll have to stay tuned to see if that's something that I do later today. But it's an exciting time to get halfway through the hike. It's daunting to know you have to do it all over again. Yesterday was exciting for a lot of reasons. Packing up in the morning, I saw my first bear, and it was quite a large one, and it was a little daunting. It was coming towards me, and I just yelled out, "Hey you," and he looked up, and fortunately, got some cars going by here. Fortunately, he looked up, saw me, and decided to move along a different direction. But here's a site of the half-gallon challenge. And here's some people already hard at work at the half-gallon challenge. Okay, the Pine Grove Furnace General Store is the place of the ice cream challenge. And here is the challenge. I have selected Neapolitan under the theory that variety will make the half-gallon go down a little easier. And to help us in the process, I have my hiker spoon. And now I'm going to ask one of my friends to take a quick picture of me while I get started. There you go. Does that work? Can you see me?
Alright.
Okay. Now I'm going to do this mostly on doctor's orders because I've lost so much weight. This is considered medicinal. So we'll come back in a few minutes and see if I was able to complete the challenge.
You want me to stop
Just about done with the bucket. And since this is no longer a true half gallon, you have to eat this too to complete it. So I'm more than halfway, just like on the AT. But I still got to finish these, so we'll be back at the end.
Okay.
Okay, we're just about done, believe it or not. A couple more bites.
Good job,
I'm full.
man. Now you gotta go for a hamburger.
Double cheeseburger next.
Yep.
So that's where we had the half-gallon challenge, the Pine Grove Furnace General Store. The trail actually comes up this way and comes right by this building, which is the Appalachian Trail Museum. And I have been in there. Very nicely done museum, beautiful building. And then the trail actually then goes down here. So it's a pretty big deal getting here to this part of the trail. And celebrate the halfway point of the trip. Also, checked off another state. So we've been through Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. So we have gotten through a lot of states. Okay, so I've left Boiling Springs and I'm hiking on the longest, flattest part of the Appalachian Trail, which primarily goes through a valley and through this farmland. And so we've had a lot of views just like this on a fairly narrow path like this. We have a special guest hiker today, Barb, maybe my biggest fan. I know all of you out there are big fans, but Barb has been quite a fan of the hike and following for ever since, even before I started the hike. And Barb and I met on a trip to the Holy Land last year, and she's been very faithful follower and supporter, and she wanted to come out and hike, and she lives in the Philadelphia area and was able to come out to Central PA and walk with me today. So I saw this little woods scene off of the field, and I thought it was a really pretty part of the hike, and the sun has come out, and thought I'd show you a little bit about the trail here. I just explained to Barb that you haven't seen me in these videos lately because I broke my stick pick, and then I got a replacement stick pick, and then I broke the tip of my pole that I need to use on the stick pick. And I do have a replacement tips right now, and I have a replacement stick pick. And since Barb was here today, I was able to slack pack, and I left the stick pick in my gear, and I don't have it with me. So you don't have to look at me again today, but just giving you a little report about what we're doing today. A lot of fun having a guest hiker out. So I'm in Pennsylvania, getting ready to head into Duncannon, and in a short amount of time I'm going to start hitting what are known as the rocks of Pennsylvania. I've mentioned before that I'm somewhat concerned about that from a safety and a mental fatigue aspect, and we're just going to have to figure out how to get through it. And as we challenge those rocks, obviously I'll be back to show you about the rocks and how we're doing. So pretty day today. It's slightly warm, but we're having a good fun time. Probably the single easiest day of hiking I've had. There's hardly any elevation change for most of the day, just these earthen path. Had a fair bit of mud, but not too bad. So been a very nice day, and great to have Barb along. And maybe I'll come back and show you something else today. And here's a good look at the mud that we often have to navigate. This is pretty easy because you can see on the sides you can get left or right, but many times the path is completely covered and it's quite challenging, or sometimes you just have to march through the mud. Okay, I'll be back. Thanks. See you later. Okay, I said we might come back. Been a very interesting hike today. Again, very easy hiking wise. It's been very flat. We're near a really pretty creek. Actually, as big as a river. Hard to see through the trees there. I'm hoping we get a little better view in a minute. But we're on this beautiful boardwalk, and I just thought I'd show you that. We've had a lot of different terrain today. In and out of the woods, in and out of farmers' fields, but generally very different than most days on the trail. I understand we get up to New Jersey, there's a long boardwalk like this, and I understand in Maine there's some boardwalks, and we've had some boardwalk here and there, but this is a pretty extensive one and really pretty walk and well constructed, and we've got some flowers blooming. So not a perfectly sunny day, a little haze to it, a little warm, but all in all, a great day. And I've had great company with our guest hiker, and we still got about another probably 7 miles to go on a 16, 17 mile day. So maybe we'll have something else to see before the day's over. Okay, I've got my new stick pick back, and I've got my new tips on my poles so I can use my stick pick. I am walking into the town of Duncannon, a little noisy here on the main street. I'm going to turn around and hopefully you can see this banner in front of me. This banner up here celebrating the Appalachian Trail Festival. Of course, I'm going to miss it. It's in 2 weeks. But this is the main street that I'm heading down. The trail goes right through the town. Not quite as nice as Hot Springs or Boiling Springs, but just came from Carlisle, and this is one of those places you see a lot on other people's YouTubes, and I've been waiting to have this walk for quite some time, and it's fun to be able to do it. I'm going to walk up to a place called the Doyle Hotel. It's one time was built by Anheuser-Busch as a grand hotel. It now is a backpacker hostel or an inexpensive hotel. And they do serve some food and beverage, and it's lunchtime, so I'm going to stop in and visit the Doyle. Like I said, it's one of these iconic places on the Appalachian Trail. Okay, just in case my other video didn't cover this very well, again, walking down the main street of Duncannon, I'm coming up to the Doyle Hotel. It's right here. And hopefully it's open today. But this is the Doyle here. And at one time it was a grand hotel.